The reason that Christianity doesn't actually make sense is because it's not a religion that's created around the teachings of Jesus. It's a religion that was created with a specific narrative in mind, and then they just reshaped Jesus's teachings to fit that narrative. Let's not forget that Jesus had a powerful movement that was not afraid to be killed, to be persecuted, and this was a huge threat to Rome. So what they did is they got in front of the movement and created a religion that would still serve them in the end. How they did that is by deifying Jesus and making him seem like he's equal to God. And yet, over and over, Jesus clearly distinguished himself from God, saying, "The Father is greater than I, serve only the Father, worship only the Father. The Father has sent me." He makes it very clear that he is not God. He says, "I and the Father are one," but that is not the same as being equal to God. And yet, 300 years later, Rome and a bunch of early church fathers create a creed and put Jesus up in the Holy Trinity, which separated us from him because now we can never be like him, which is what they want. Because if they had millions of Christed people walking around having the same effect that Jesus did, then their entire system would collapse. And so what they did was they created this separation, and again, not based on Jesus' teachings. They then reshaped it and gave you other interpretations of those teachings to just help you have some peace of mind. But if you read just Jesus directly, it is very clear that he never said that he was God.
Okay, this is interesting. This is the second video that I have watched from her. The first one I have reacted recently, where he rejected Paul, right? Now here, because I question what did she believe in, because I'm not quite certain. She seems to be a Christian of some sort, but here the question is being put about the Trinity itself, and she did mention that Jesus never claimed divinity, never claimed to be God, is created later. And the argument here is the first time I think I have heard of, was it about the reason why the Romans etc. want to distinguish between Jesus and human. I have never heard that before, in the sense that it have an impact that people who follow the teaching, meaning become Christian, see Jesus as not human, hence no one will actually behave like Jesus. They just put their faith, quote unquote, to Jesus, that like Christian today, but they accept that Jesus is perfect, and Jesus, no one can be like Jesus, etc. That is interesting. Because as Muslim, we see all of the prophets as example that we want to emulate. And because they are human beings, they are best of examples, and we human beings just like them should strive to become like, because, and we cannot argue that they are angels that we cannot emulate, etc. They are human beings with feelings, with emotions, etc., like us human beings, right? Of course they are chosen people. Yeah, so that's interesting, in the sense that distinguishing between what the church fathers etc. have formulated around Jesus, as she mentioned, and what Jesus actually teach. I'm interested to see what Christians believe in this, in that context. And what do you think about what she said in this video? This is a rather short one. I think it just raised that question, and I'm interested to see, to hear from Christians themselves. And if you're a Christian, please do share what do you think about what she said. Thank you for watching. See you next time.